Hi, everybody. Great to be back with you again. I'm thrilled that you're championing this biblical value of connecting together. You've got some great questions that Scotty has prepared from the message this last weekend, and I hope that you'll have a great time dialoguing and interacting about. If you remember back, the topic was on money. Not everything that glitters is gold. And in Ecclesiastes chapters 5 and 6, Solomon spoke about our whole attitude towards stuff. But most every financial message that you hear from the Bible, it's not so much about the stuff itself, but about the heart's attitude towards it. And that's what we heard Solomon saying. We need to accept our stuff as part of God's plan. We can enjoy our stuff as examples of his good grace and gift to us. And then we just have to see it, our perception of it. It's really expressions of God's willing love and His goodness and His heart towards us. And I hope that you'll interact about your attitude toward your stuff and maybe share the high points and maybe the low points of it all. This is a time for us to reevaluate and encourage each other because in many ways, it's when we have an abundance that we are at the greatest spiritual danger. When we're in poverty, we know how desperately we need God. But it's the deceitfulness of riches that can blind us to our need for God. And I don't know if that's been true in your life, but it's true in many lives. And I didn't have time to tell this one story that in many ways speaks to this issue. A very wealthy man in upstate New York, he and his wife had tried to have children for the longest time, but were unable to. And the man had no heir to his large estate. Then miraculously and wonderfully, in their later years, the wife became pregnant with a very special baby boy. Tragically, the boy was born with special needs and had a very difficult early life. The mom died when the boy was just 5 years old, and just 8 years later, when the little boy was 13, he passed from the handicaps and the difficulties that he was born with. And this very wealthy man had a heartbreak for his family, and he really had no one to live for, and he soon passed away as well. At the auction of all of his goods, the very first item that was put up for auction was a picture of his handicapped son. And no one there who wanted to bid on the estate had any interest in the picture of the son, except for the nurse who cared for the handicapped boy. She bid $5 for the picture and won. Well, as soon as her bid came in, the gavel went down and the auctioneer declared the auction over. And he turned the picture around and there was a sealed envelope. On the back of it was a letter from the wealthy man. And in the letter, it simply said, "The person who has a proper perspective of my son is the one to whom I will give my riches." And that poor nursemaid became the heir then of all of the riches of this very wealthy individual. It's a beautiful picture, isn't it? Of how God the Father says if we have a right perspective of His Son, all of the riches spiritually, and one day all the riches of the world will be ours as we help rule in His kingdom. And so with that kingdom mentality, we want to set our mind on things above, especially as it relates to stuff. Make sure we keep our heart's perspective clear, that on the Lord Jesus Christ, and in Him as we seek first the kingdom of God, God will entrust to us all the riches that we will need. So enjoy your time together. I'll look forward again, Lord willing, to be back with you next weekend. Blessings on you all.